Hey everyone, Annette from Aussie Reborn Supplies and Miracle Babies Newborn Nursery. Today I wanted to do a video on gluing inside the head after we've done the hair. I've had a few inquiries about how you go about the whole gluing process. So I've finished Harley's hair and I thought it's time to go ahead and do that. So here's Harley's nice fine hair that I have showed in another video, which I'll pop up above so everyone can see. I don't know how easily everyone's going to see Harley's hair in there. Not very easily. Let me have a look. Yeah, you can see it. So it is quite well done in there. Yeah, you can see especially there, you can see the length of the hair inside. Oops. Just grab that. It is quite long inside. When you do the tutorial like I've just posted up above, the hair actually comes inside about 1 to 2 centimeters, which makes it awesome for gluing. Really good. Sometimes with the other needles you might just get like the finest little tip inside. It still can glue, but it's not as easy to stay as such. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that I do with gluing, well, obviously, let me show you my glue. I actually use this one, Gel Bond. It is I get it from Bunnings Warehouse. You can see that it's well used. Anyway, why I decided to use this is it was heat and water resistant. And I thought, well, we're in the climate we are from in Queensland, it can get quite hot. So I wanted something that was going to do the right thing even in hot weather, and water resistant, because everyone who has babies, well, most people will spray it with water and give it a comb or brush down. So I wanted that to also be a process. I didn't want somehow that the water might leak inside and then go moldy and stuff like that. I wanted to protect it every way I could. So it's a contact adhesive, but I've never had any problems. So a contact adhesive, if you don't know, is where you paint glue on this side, glue on this side, you hold it for a second, and then when you put it together, the contact bonds it. Now this one obviously doesn't have as such anything that contacts onto it, but after I have left it like about 24 hours, it can even be done much quicker, it's all dry, and that's what I'm after. So I'll just open it up. I think this is the last time I can use it. I've used nearly all of it, but I didn't have time to rush to the shop and get a new one. There's still enough in there. So it is like a yellowy creamy color. Doesn't matter about the color, okay? It's going inside the head. So just so everyone knows, there's a lot of glues that people use. Once again, this is not the exact glue that you have to use. It's one that works for me. Some people buy tacky glue for inside the head. I find the tacky glue is just that. It's a little bit too tacky, and I find it doesn't actually dry the way I like it to. Some people use E6000, which is also very good. That is also very good. But I tend to use that more for my dummies because it's got a health issue on it. So I stick away from that. I have seen someone once before that used a type of glue, and I had to do a refurbishment on this baby. And when I had to get the glue out, it was literally like glass. I actually cut myself. So it was a clear bond, but it was so hard. So if you can imagine with this gel bond, one thing that's good is you can still do this squishy thing if you have to, but this actual head was so hard. It was like rock hard, and I didn't like that. Even though I didn't know what the glue was, I tried to... That's why I liked the sound gel. I thought, well, that might be a little bit flexible. And it is actually flexible, which is good. Okay, so let's get to it. So if you don't already know, I actually drill out the nostrils in my babies. So if you do, I always put a black backing on the nostrils. So I'll try to show you. So that's a bit of a before. Actually can see through it. Say hi. So what I do is I've got some paddle pop sticks or mixing sticks, whatever you want to call it. I've got the backing. Probably got a little bit of a big one there, so I'm going to cut that down. You don't need much, it's just black felt. You can get it from nearly every, like little $2 or a cheap shop, and one piece of felt which costs you $1 will probably last you about 100 babies, so don't be shy and get that. So what I just do is get my little stick here. Better bring this back in case I make a mess on my tablecloth. And I just get a wipe of it, nothing major, and just wipe it on the black felt. Now, it will dry, I mean, it is yellow, but for some reason, whenever I put it in, you can never see the yellow through the nostrils, so it's quite good. I think it's because it's sort of far back. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to literally put that on the back of the nostrils that I've opened up. Sometimes it can be a little bit frustrating because when it goes in there, it doesn't want to move as much. Get in there. Okay. So, looking at his nostrils now, you can't see through them like you did before. It's more dark. So I will put some glue on top of that in a minute. But before I do that, I'm going to put my magnet in. Now, little Harley will have a dummy. So I've got like a test dummy that I use at home. You might see there's a bit of glue on there. And it's actually got a crack in the dummy and everything. So this is what I call my test dummy. And that means every single baby I make has the same magnetic bond. So if one of my customers was come to me and say that they want a new dummy, I can make them one straight away because I know exactly which way the magnetic field is traveling. So it's always a good thing to have yourself a test dummy at home. And that's what I use for all of my babies when I'm putting them together. So I just put the dummy where I want it to go, and then I've got a thick magnet here. I literally throw it in and it bonds to where I want it to be. So I can move that around and get it nice and straight. So once it's there, make sure it's in the exact spot I want it to be. Because Tommy's got, well, it is a Tommy kit, by the way, but his name's Harley. But because he's got an open mouth, sometimes the open mouth babies can be harder to have the magnetic dummies attach. This is because if we look down in there, there's a bump where his mouth is. So if the bump is sort of a bit of a weird shape, the magnet won't sit right. And yeah, there you go. So you can see my piece of black felt in there. So what I'm going to do now is get some glue, and I'm going to just glue them in place. So literally paste them over. I'm going to be a bit careful with how much glue I use because I've only got so much left. But I'm just going to put enough there to keep them in place for now, and then when I'm finished doing the hair, I'll come back and put a little bit more glue on. So once again, you can see that it's got some glue on it. Nothing major. Okay. I'm back. So I've just got like a tape dispenser here because I've got to glue the eyes in. So when I glue the eyes in, I like to sort of put him on a little pedestal there, and the tape dispenser is the perfect size and shape, or tape roll I should say. So when I'm doing the eyes, it's a little bit tricky and it's going to be hard for me to show you, but I'll talk you through it. When I do the eyes, I get under with my stick, under the little flap. It's going to be a little bit hard. I'm going to use little scissors at the moment just to lift that flap, keeping away from the magnet, because if the magnet senses it there, it'll just suck itself to it. Okay, so I've opened the flap. Stay open. Open the, oh my goodness. It's not the easiest job to do. Okay, I've got my flap open, and I'm going to get some glue on my stick and put the glue on top. Now I can hold that little eyelid flap at the back open with my stick, and I can get some more glue and put it in there. And once I've got enough glue on the actual back of the eyeball, I can put the flat back down and it'll bond in place. So again, I'll do the other side. Some glue. Hate it when it's about to drip. And put it on the back of the eye. So it's all very, see, I've got some glue on my scissors. It's all very fiddly, precise work, but take your time. The worst thing that can happen is you can get glue on the eye color of the eye, which is so frustrating when that happens. So have your setup right and you'll be fine. Now the next part is making sure that your baby has eyes that are going exactly the right way. Now if you've got sleeping eyes, you won't have to worry about this. You might just have to put a little bit of glue behind the eyes if you've got eyelashes in there to hold them in place. But this baby, see, his dummy was moving down, so I'll have to make sure that's right. At the moment, we don't want to make sure he's cross-eyed. So to do that, the best thing to do is to put the baby to the light so you can see the lights coming down and find where the light actually hits the eye. So you want the light to hit the eye on exactly the same space on both sides. So to do that, just get like your stick and push the back of the eye. Even though it's in its socket, it'll sort of slightly move, and just push it to where it's got to be. Okay, so I got all his eyes in the angle that I wanted them. His dummy, see, because of his open mouth, is going to move probably all the time, and that's what the customer is going to have to accept because of the open mouth. But I'll make sure before I finish that it's all fine. So now let's go to the part of doing the hair, gluing the hair in place. Just put those down there. Now, when you're gluing the hair in place, you'll need a set of, well, you won't need, but it's definitely handy, a set of hemostats. So I sell them in 10-inch, 8-inch and 6-inch. I actually personally use the 10-inch because I feel that it's the longest, so it's going to get inside the head well. So what you do then is just get like a cosmetic wedge sponge. You can use one that you've been using that you're ready to throw away. It doesn't matter. And you just like click it on there, put it in between there and click the hemostat shut so it'll click here. And there you go. A perfect swab for inside your head. So let's actually use mine now, which is very much loved, like all of my things you may notice. It is covered in glue. When I originally got it, I used to clean it up nice and clean, and I used to wipe all the glue off, but then I had a moment of a rush time and I didn't clean it and it got completely stuck, and so I've just let it build up over the years, but it still works like a trooper. So just put it in there, see, and there's my swab. And I don't have to worry. Afterwards, I just take this off and put it in the bin. And I leave this open like that on the ground so it dries without drying shut. So yes, just put your little sponge on there like that. And then you literally just swab this in your glue. Like that. And drop the glue inside. Being careful not to get the outsides, the outer edges, and you just literally wipe inside. Wipe all around inside, and literally don't be afraid to use more glue. Really, really simple and easy. It's again, see, I've got a heap of glue on there. I'm not being scared to use lots, and I just put it in here very carefully so I don't get the edges, and in it goes, and just wipe around. So get around near the ears, on either side, the top of the head. Boy, he's got a lot of hair in there. Makes for really good work. Just get everywhere. Going well. Going well. I'm literally using up all of my glue. So lucky I got to use everything. So I've got a little bit more in there, but I'll finish it off in a minute. So just so I don't carry this video on forever, I'll just show you what he's looking like inside. So you can see the glue in there. Especially up the top there, you can see that I've wiped it around. So that's it. Once everything is covered inside, you've done your eyes, you've done your back of your nose if it's open, you've done your dummy. Make sure that the dummy, the magnet is sitting in the perfect position, which it is not at the moment. So I'll do that in a second. Sit. Like I said, I'll do it in a second. But now I'm just going to, I always sit it on my tape and I leave it sit there overnight, just because I want it to be clear that it's perfectly glued. And but if you're in like an environment where there might be a fan going on it, it might dry quicker. I've also got my eyelashes to glue, which you can see my eyelashes are still long. I have rooted them in and I need to trim them. But that's another deal. If you need to know, let me know and I'll do it next time. Okay, so I hope everything goes well with you, and I hope that helped a little bit. It's just the way I do it, like I always say. You can do it differently, and that'll be fine too, as long as it works. Okay, so thanks for watching today, guys, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!